All right, here's another one. Now, this one is when I was in the 8th grade, we got into trapping, and one of Lenny Martin's friends, Mazzucchelli, he was a trapper, and we went out with him a couple of times, picked up the traps and stuff, watched him skin some stuff, and figured, I could do that. That's not hard. So anyway, we go and buy some traps, and I started trapping, and the Passaic River was a hard place to trap because it had been trapped, so to speak. There was nothing there, or very little. So you had to get a stream somewhere. Well, the stream that I picked was the Peckman River, and it's down near my Aunt Toots's. So it's a pretty good ride from my house, maybe a mile and a half. Anyway, now, get this, I had a paper route in the morning, and I had traps to check. So now, I would have to, but I would only trap on Saturday normally. I'd only trap on Saturday and Sunday, so I could go check the traps, because otherwise I had school. So this day was a Monday, happened to be a Monday, because something happened. I couldn't get down to the traps on Sunday. I don't know what the heck happened, what had come up. But anyway, so I got to check the traps on Monday. So Monday morning, really, I go out, I deliver the papers really early. I get up, and then I take off down to check the traps. And it's a long way, a mile and a half down from my house. Drive down, I'm checking, I only got 3 or 4 traps there. I'm checking them, and one of the traps is not only been set, and what do you want to say? I mean, it was sprung, okay, but it was also pulled. There was this, you take the trap, you put it in the water, trying to catch a muskrat. Put it in the water, so the muskrat steps on the trap, gets caught, and the trap's too heavy for the muskrat to hold it, so he drowns. And when you come, there's just a muskrat there, he's dead, okay? Well, this one here, the trap is gone. Took it out of the ground, pulled it out of the ground. I'm like, what the heck could have pulled the thing out of the ground? But anyway, I look, and there's a trail going through these high bushes, high weeds, right? Kind of going along. I go, So I go following the trail, right? And I come across an opening, a big opening, like the size of somebody's living room or something like that, big, round. Well, what happened was this raccoon got caught in the trap, only with like 2 fingers, just 2 little fingers. And he was strong enough, he pulled the stake out of the ground. It wasn't hard to pull a stake out of the ground. A muskrat couldn't do it, but the raccoon could do it. And then he took off with the trap. Well, the trap is trailing a chain and a stake. And the chain and the stake got caught in his vine. And the vine was pretty long, about maybe 10 feet or so. So he starts trying to pull it loose. And he ends up going around and around. So he's got this 20-some foot circle where he's knocked down all of the high grass. So I walk along, I come to the circle, and I'm looking across the circle, and I see him. He's on the other side of the circle, and he's stuck in this big vine. The trap, he's got the trap, the chain is stuck in the vine, he's stuck. So I go, Now, I have with me, a big burlap bag, and it's really a rubberized burlap bag. It doesn't leak. It's not like a burlap bag you just throw potatoes in or something like that. It's got a rubberized lining in it. It's really thick and hard. And it's firm, not hard, it's firm. But anyway, but you couldn't, if you tried to stab a knife through it, you'd have a heck of a time getting a knife through that thing, okay? So anyway, so I think, and I got a rope, right? Because I used to tie the bag up and other stuff, and then pick up any traps that I was gonna pick up. I'd tie them in a rope and hold them so I could ride home on a bike with the rope, or throw them in a basket. Anyway, I go, my Uncle John raised 2 raccoons, and from little babies, right? But I thought, maybe I could catch this raccoon and raise it. Now, this was not good thinking. This is a full-grown male raccoon. Anyway, So I come over, walk over to the raccoon. Now remember, once I walk into that circle, that raccoon could run right to me. Anywhere in that circle, he's there. He has access to it. I go walking all the way over to the raccoon. I got the bag, and I've made a lasso, a little lasso out of the rope. The rope was a short rope, maybe 5 or 6 feet. And my goal was I was going to lasso the raccoon, pull him over, and get him in the bag. Sounded like a good idea at the time. So I go over, and the raccoon is ticked. I mean, he is stuck. You know, he's trapped, but he is mad. And his eyes, they look like, today, I mean, they're green. They're like a green stone, shine. Like, I mean, he is mad. So I go over and I try to throw the rope on him. Now he could attack me right there. He could come out. Because there's nothing between me and that raccoon. And he's only held by 2 fingers in this little thing. So I throw the lasso over the raccoon, pulls it off. I throw it again, pulls it off. I mean, like 4 or 5 times, the sucker pulls it off. So finally I get him. I lasso him. Now he's really, if he wasn't mad before, he is really ticked off. So he's growling and stuff like that, and his teeth, whew, big teeth, big incisors or whatever you want to call them, big teeth. So I'm pulling on it this way, and I want to get him in the bag, and I didn't realize, how the heck am I going to pull him in the bag when I'm trying to pull one way? So I get over, and I try to put the bag over his head. And as I put the bag over his head, he bites the bag. Now he's got the bag, I got him. Now we're pulling like this. And I'm only in the 8th grade, you know, so I'm not a big, strong kid. And this thing probably weighs 30 pounds, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I'm pulling, he's got his jaw locked on the bag, right? And I'm pulling like this, and we're struggling, and we are inches apart. I mean, he's right there, I'm right there pulling, and all of a sudden, he pulls a piece out of the bag. He tears a piece. Now, when he tore that piece out of the bag, reality set in quickly, because I knew I couldn't stab a hole in that bag with a knife. And he just bit a piece of that bag out. And I'm like, whoa, this guy, he means business, man. So I drop the rope, and I start backing up. I drop the bag, I start backing up. And all of a sudden, somebody goes, "What are you doing?" I went, I thought I had a heart attack. I'll tell you, it was my Uncle John. My mom had wondered what the heck happened. So she called my Uncle John, because he was going to work, but he hadn't gone to work yet, to say, "Hey, he's down by the Peckman River. I know, that's all I know, but could you go down there and check and see what the heck happened to him? He's late for school already, you know, because I forgot the time. I've missed the first couple of classes in school." So my Uncle John's, I'm like, and then he tells me later on the story, you know, how he got there. But anyway, he goes, "What the heck are you trying to do?" I said, "Well, I was trying to catch that guy over there, you know." He looks at me, holy jeez. So he goes, "Come on, get out of the circle, get out of his range, you know." So we get out of the circle, and he gets a big old branch, an old broken branch, dried out branch. And he comes over, and he takes the branch, and he walks out and takes the vine and pulls the vine, and he takes finally to the chain, gets to the chain, and he just puts the branch out so the raccoon can't get. And pretty soon the raccoon is like this, you know, held with the branches and his arms out. And then my Uncle John did what I couldn't have done, no way. He reaches out, grabs his trap, squeezes it enough that it lets go of the raccoon's 2 fingers, and the raccoon just takes off. And that was it for that day. And it probably, I don't know if it was the last day I trapped, but I certainly didn't mess with raccoons when I trapped, for sure. Anyway, that's a long story, but it gives you a sense of the adventures of your grandfather. or your great-grandfather, as the story may go. All right? Take care, and we'll give you another story later on. Take care.